We are joined now by Kansas Senator Roger Marshall. We're going to talk about the confirmation hearings that are coming up, all that and more. In the meantime, though, are the Kansas City Chiefs ever going to lose again?
Clay, that's a great question. The stat I'm going to throw at you, 8 times out of 8 in playoff football, when Patrick Mahomes has been behind or tied, he's led the Chiefs to a victory. 8 out of 8. I think not even the Tom Brady could do that. So he's chasing Tom Brady, the GOAT.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And we're going to see what happens with the Super Bowl coming up next week down in New Orleans. Like I said, I'll be down there Thursday, Friday. Hopefully Bourbon Street will be back up and running. I know 14 people lost their lives there just a few weeks ago. And I also know that New Orleans got hit with the biggest snowfall, I think, in the recorded history of the city. So can't wait to get down there. On the Washington, D.C. front, Senator, a lot more nominations coming forward this week, including RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, Kash Patel. Based on your reading of the landscape right now, how do you think all three of those and more are looking from a confirmation basis? Are you optimistic?
I'm very optimistic for different reasons. But I think once we got Pete Hegseth across the finish line, I think that set the stage for the rest of them. I think with Bobby Kennedy may be the most controversial, but he also has the largest groundswell of people out there supporting him. And President Trump realizes that when Bobby Kennedy endorsed President Trump, Trump's numbers went up. I think this Republican Party, the 10, is bigger than it's ever been. These people are very politically active. They're very loud. And I think Bobby Kennedy's going to do a great job. He's absolutely a disruptor. I'm looking forward working with him to make America healthy again. 60% of Americans have a chronic disease right now, and that's mostly determined by what we eat and the toxins we're exposed to. So I think he's going to be great for America, a great disruptor, and I can't wait to work with him to help make America healthy again.
Friday, Pete Hegseth gets in as defense secretary Friday evening, but it was 50-50. You had Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins all in your 53-vote Republican majority vote against those individuals. Do you think that there will be unanimity from the Republicans? Do you expect some defections? What are you hearing about these new confirmations coming forward?
Yeah, I think there's going to be some defections. I wish I could say differently, but I think that Bobby could pick up several Democrats as well. I think a lot of those folks over there have been preaching the same message regarding proper nutrition, healthy nutrition. So I think that Bobby's going to pick up some Democrats. He may lose some Republicans that Pete didn't lose as well. Tulsi, I bet it could well be a 50-50 gig as well. I don't know she'll pick up many Democrats, and Kash may grease by with 51. We'll see what happens, but I'm optimistic. I think that people realize 77 million Americans voted for Donald Trump. These are his people. Yes, they're change agents, they're disruptors. They don't always fit the model that they're expecting, but that's what we love about him. So we're ready to play the game.
We're talking with Senator Roger Marshall from the state of Kansas. We're breaking this down. You just mentioned that there may be difficulty on the Democrat side for Robert Kennedy Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard. I just want to remind everybody, Tulsi Gabbard ran for president as a Democrat in 2020 and served multiple terms as a Democrat congresswoman from Hawaii. For 73 and a half, I believe, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is 74. For 73 and a half of those years, RFK Jr. was a Democrat. What does it say about Trump broadening the coalition for the Make America Healthy Again movement? But also, these are two former Democrats that now Democrats are saying, well, these are way too radical of choices for Donald Trump to have inside of his cabinet. That's pretty crazy from a political perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, Clay, to your point, I think that's what we call hypocrites. If, heaven forbid, Joe Biden was still president and he had nominated Bobby Kennedy, it would have been brilliant, right? Tulsi Gabbard, what a brilliant choice. But instead, they resort to personal character assassination. They resort to politics. They're going to find something wrong with all of them. And I get that. I don't agree with Bobby Kennedy on several things, but we agree that we both want to make America healthy again. Tulsi, I'm not sure about some of these past visits she's made, but in our sit down session, she said, I promise to make things more transparent. That when in doubt, she's going to say Congress needs to see this, and when possible, Americans to see this as well. We're already seeing John Ratcliffe right now opening up the COVID file on Fauci and showing America what most of us already knew, is that the virus was made there in Wuhan, China, and they had a lab leak. You know, Cash is up here just throwing grenades at people saying, let's shut down the FBI building. How about sending all these FBI agents out with their badges and guns and chasing bad guys? What an original thought. So he is absolutely changing the way the game's played up here. And that's why Americans voted for Donald Trump. But to your point, the Democrats are hypocrites on this issue.
What do you expect to see in the Super Bowl?
Oh, Super Bowl. Gosh, I think it'll be a little bit more high scoring than I was expecting. I think it's going to be 30-some points. I think that you're going to see Andy Reid go down as the most brilliant offensive mind, going back to some of those really good San Francisco 49er teams as well. I think you're going to see Patrick Mahomes define, his future and what it looks like to be the GOAT. But Philadelphia has an incredible team that's going to be incredibly competitive. I think it's going to be a great game.
No doubt. What else should we know going forward? There's been a lot of debate about one big, beautiful bill, as Trump has called it, versus breaking up a lot of what's trying to happen. Once we get through the confirmation process, let me ask you that. How long do you think it will take for this confirmation process to play itself out and for Trump to be able to have his full team of individuals out there working for him?
Yeah, I think that we're right on schedule. We're keeping up with Obama's schedule for confirmations, but it could take 2 months, maybe 3 months to get them all across the finish line. But I think we'll get these important ones done here in the next month. Then moving forward, we are working very hard on this reconciliation bill to fulfill President Trump's campaign promises. He needs more money to secure the border. He promised to drill, baby, drill. So we're passing some regulatory process. We're actually rolling back regulations in that process to allow energy to start growing again as well. And then I think beyond that, we need some funding for the military as well. We have a couple other big issues out there facing us. The government's funding ends March 14th, sometime the end of the spring. We hit our debt limit. So I'm thinking about all three of those at the same time. I'm not sure the House can get all that done that they're wanting, but we'll get as much of it done as we can, I hope, by April. And we may have to come back and take a second bite of the apple in the early summer.
All right, good stuff as always. Appreciate the time, Senator Marshall. We'll talk to you again. Enjoy the Super Bowl next week.
Hey, Clay, thanks so much. Go Chiefs.
That is Senator Marshall from Kansas. Let me tell you something. We came really close to winning our Prize Picks pick. In fact, Josh Allen tried to score rushing the football a couple of times down close. If he had done it, we would have won our 10-1. The other three all hit. I'll have a pick for you next week for the Super Bowl that I imagine huge numbers of you will be watching. But in the meantime, I want you to get $50. All you have to do is go to prizepicks.com, use code CLAY. That's prizepicks.com, code CLAY. You can play in California. You can play in Texas. You can play in Georgia. You can play in Florida. And guess what? PrizePicks got a radical idea. They think everybody should be able to play, and everybody should be able to have a good time while doing so. 40-plus states, 10 million of you so far have signed up. $5 pick, you get $50. I don't know very many advertisements we've ever done where I've said, hey, you get $50 just for doing this. From your phone, type in PrizePicks, use code CLAY. Boom, you get $50. That's prizepicks.com, code CLAY.